Okay, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. I am super excited, and I'm glad that you guys made it through. I told you I was going to come live, and I'm going to be talking about don't date devils, online dating hazards that you need to be aware of. So call your friends, call your family members. Hey, Pastor Emi, good to see you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I believe that we're going to have a great time, um, today, right? And so just follow me carefully, right? I hope you can all hear me loud and clear. Okay, and so today I am going to be looking at something that bothers me because I just in the last 48 hours I've noticed a trend of people going on what's it called? People going on a date, online dating, and then someone is dead, right? It bothers me, and I began to dig deep, and I realized that it's not even a small thing. It's a big issue around the world. It's a major issue in America. I did a study in Nigeria. I noticed that a couple of people have disappeared. People have been killed simply because they went for an online dating with a stranger that they don't know or they don't know enough of. And so we are going to be having that conversation today. Now, I'll tell you, I mean, what exactly sparked this conversation was the case of a lady called Lauren Smithfield. This case happened in Connecticut. Lauren was a 23-year-old girl, amazing lady, who was doing well with her studies. Lauren was loved by everyone, great girl, took care of her body. She was studying physiotherapy. She wanted to help people with their health. That was all she wanted to do. Now, this girl went on Bumble. Bumble is a dating app. A lot of you are on Bumble. And went on Bumble and started talking to this guy, this white guy. She's black. And then they went on talking, and she felt cool with the guy. And when the lady is in love, sometimes they may not listen to any voice that is contrary. But you see, there were red flags in there that I want us to examine. And so she got into a relationship with this guy. And then the first time they were going to meet, because I had this conversation with my son, who is a 17-year-old who is going to study, wants to study psychology. This girl invited this guy over. And the first time they were ever going to meet, invited her over to to her house, a space. That was the place she invited this guy to. And so, according to the guy, they started drinking. They started having a good time. They ate. And then the next thing was she started watching a movie. They were watching the movie together. Then she received a call. Now, the person calling her was her brother. And in receiving that call, she didn't receive the call inside the house. She went out. Apparently, she didn't want her brother to know that there was someone in our house. That was a red flag. Bible says a man that wanders away from home will rest in the assembly of the dead. My heart goes out to her parents. I really feel for them because this was avoidable. And so our brother, she told the brother, oh, she's seen someone, and then she said, oh, I'll get back to you. I'll tell you later. I'm in the middle of something. She didn't tell her brother that the guy was in her house. What happened from that moment was something nobody could explain. But what the guy said was that, but the moment she came back from the call, she started feeling drowsy, feeling dizzy, went to the bathroom, started vomiting, then came back, slept off on the couch. So he lifted her to her room. How did he know her room? Lifted her to her room, laid beside her. He said he woke up at 3 a.m. She was snoring. Then 6 a.m. he woke up and this lady was vomiting blood. And she wasn't responsive. Called 911. The lady was dead. Now, what happened afterwards was heartbreaking because the police didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't carry out, a real search. They didn't do a test. There were things, evidence that they didn't even pick from the spot, because it was later, many days after, because her parents, it took them 48 hours to even know that their daughter was dead. Now, no police informed them. They had to suffer a whole lot. By the time they eventually came back to the house to search, they found a condom, a used condom with semen, yet the guy said they didn't have sex, right? They found drugs. And then when they did autopsy, they found drug in the bloodstream. This girl does not do drugs. And so there has been cases like this across board that we need to begin to pay attention to, because I've never been a fan of online dating. I love assisted connection. Now, I am not saying online dating is bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying online dating is bad. No, that's not what I'm saying at all, right? What I'm saying is that you need to understand the basics of relationship before you even get in at all, right? And so, how do you invite someone you don't know into your space? How do you bring someone you have never met into your private space? These are the things that worries me. But I've realized that there's a younger generation who don't do the due diligence that our generation used to do, right? So you are in love with someone, and because online, virtual world has become the real world for many. And they don't know that the fact that the guy is smiling with you, smiling at you, the guy is showing you some love, you guys are having FaceTime, does not mean it's pure, or does not mean the person genuinely loves you. People have been kidnapped, people have been killed. And so we don't want the next person to die. And that's not to say that online dating is not good, right? I believe online dating helps you break the barrier. It's like an icebreaker, helps you get to know people, help you study human behavior. That's what I think is best for, because the percentage of people who actually find the right match, who find the right partner in online dating is very minimal. But that's not what we are even talking about today. That's not why I'm here, right? I am here to help you understand 7 things that can help you safeguard your life. We don't want to lose another person out there. That's not what we want. Because this lady's case is so painful for me as a person, and I believe it was avoidable. Now, what the police did was even unacceptable, because I believe she was unfairly treated. Of course, that has been handled later. So you need to listen to me if you are someone who is doing online dating. And the first thing I need you to know if you're doing online dating is that, number one, there are rules of engagement. Every situation in life has got rules of engagement, and you need to master the rules. If you don't master the rules of engagement, you are going to be, and you see, the sad thing is that people who die are never alive to tell the story, right? And so the first thing I need you to know, right, is that you must never invite a stranger to your private space, no matter how much you feel that you guys are doing, no matter how much you feel, oh, you guys are good together. You don't bring a stranger to your private space. Never do it, right? The first meet should be public. Always, no exemption, no matter how convinced you are of the person's character. Even if the person you have been praying together, you have been worshiping God together, your first moment, don't bring them to your private space. Meet at a public space, because, see, it's tough for anybody to kidnap you in the public space. It's tough for anybody to spike your drug in the public space. It's almost impossible for that to be done, right? And so it's important for you to know that the first time you are meeting someone you claim you are in love with, so you have been matched with someone, that first time, please ensure is in a public space. Because you see, molesters, the first thing they do is they isolate you before they molest you. So that's rule number 1. And that takes me to number 2, which is FaceTime before FaceTime and do your digging. Yeah, you have been doing FaceTime, you don't get in love, fall in love, that you lose your senses. You need to watch out for clues. You need to check, right? If you're having a conversation with a date and you're talking, don't just narrow it down to your interest and then you're already planning to travel together. Travel to where? With who? Do you know his father? Do you know his mother? Do you know his colleagues? Do you know whether he has a pastor, whether he has an imam? Do you know the people that can vouch for him? If you don't have those details, the last thing you want to do is to find yourself in compromising circumstances. I don't understand how people who are just meeting themselves for the first time, they met online, they are meeting physically for the first time, and they are comfortable with having sex with themselves. I will never understand that. But it looks like that is what is happening right now. And so, young people who are listening to that, if you're a parent, we need to do better. We need to parent our children better. And that takes me to number 3, tell your tribe. Share their names, share your location, share the time. Real kings and queens don't go ghosting. Now, what that means is if you are going to go out with someone, you don't hide. I believe the fundamental mistake that lady made was when her brother called her, and I think that was God trying to save her. She could have told her brother, oh, by the way, I'm seeing a guy, and then he's a white guy, this is his name, and then he's in my house. Because they later found out that the guy has various names on various dating apps. It's almost like a ghost, because after in the initial report to the police, writing the statement, he disappeared. How they let him go, I will never understand. Right? So tell your tribe. The moment you are dating someone and you're going to visit, and the person is already asking you, are there people you tell? Are there people you talk to? Hey, you need to ask, what is the agenda here? Right? So tell your tribe. If someone is coming to, or you're going on the date with someone, you need to tell them the location. You need to tell them, as a matter of fact, even if it's a controlled space, take someone along, let them sit in a far distance, right? Because the world is no longer what it used to be. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where you can't defend yourself. Do you know how many stories I have had in the last 48 hours? I just put something on Facebook and then people are bombarding me with stories. I had to go on YouTube and I realized even in Nigeria, there was a lady who went to an hotel with another guy, and then the guy killed her, and the hotel was not away, it was not one of those low budget hotels. So tell your tribe, let people know where you're going. And that takes me to number 4, pre-screen with wisdom. And not loneliness. It's okay to screen the people that come into your personal space. It was Dan Dapani that said you must qualify people for the investment of your energy. Don't become so desperate and then a guy you don't know. Because let me tell you, the people, serial killers, they don't look ugly. They don't have 2 arms. Serial killers look handsome. They look harmless. Right? And so you want to screen. You are dating this guy. You started talking. Oh, where do you live? Who are your parents? Right? It's too early. If it's too early to know his route or her route, then it's too early for you to be hanging out with them in a private space. What if anything happens to you? Who will you call? You need to know, does he attend the church? Oh, he goes to church. Who is his pastor? Right? Who is in any department in that church? Where does he work? Right? Who are his colleagues? And you place a call when it's a work and say, oh, who is your best friend? Who is your favorite colleague? Can I say hello to them? And things like that. When they keep ghosting you and hiding critical things that can hold them accountable from you, it's a no-no. And don't compromise this. Don't be so desperate as to give yourself away to someone who you can vouch for, right? Who can you report them to? Because if they don't have anybody that you can report them to, there is no authority figure in their life, they are going to mess you up. Because you see, the sad thing is that if they kill you, you won't be alive to tell the story. That's the sad part. So pre-screen with wisdom. I mean, when people talk about the rules of dating, they say, oh, when you meet the person for the first time, be careful the question you ask. Hey, if I am going to be in the private space with you, if I'm going to go on a journey with you, I better know everything about you. I better tell my parents and my relatives, who I'm going out with, where the person lives, so that in case anything happens to me, I better call to say, can you vouch for this person? Right? Because the moment there is no accountability, you become susceptible to molestation. Number 5 is limit and avoid alcohol on first meets. And please, let me say this. Many years ago, I don't drink. And I don't drink because I carelessly read the book. It wasn't even I wasn't reading the book. The book was just open. I think it was written by Pastor Adeboye. And he says, if you don't drink, you can never be drunk. And that stuck with me, that I couldn't even take 1% Of course, sometimes I now can now try, but I couldn't for a long time. Why? Because you don't want to do anything that impair your judgment. Young people are meeting, ordinary party, they are on shisha, right? They are vaping. I didn't know how difficult, how much of a problem vaping and smoking weed was in America until I took a bus trip to Missouri 2 weeks ago. Every time we stopped, almost everyone was smoking. I was like, what's going on here? Right? And so if you go out with someone, even if you decide to drink, if you step away from your drink to take a call, don't return to that drink. You can't be too trusting. People have died. Just one sleep. There's a new case I was working on today of a lady that went, a Ghanaian lady, daughter of a pastor, went out with someone from another dating site. And then they were in a public place and then stepped away. And then the next thing she came back to take a drink, and that was it. They found drug in the system. She was dead. Again, they couldn't get justice as well. And so you need to understand, in fact, rule of thumb is take your drink along in case. Bible says that if you're eating with a king, if you are someone who is given to appetite, you love to drink, right? He said, put a knife to your throat. That day, decide to fast, right? Because you can't appear too cool. The world is no longer the nice world that we grew up in. It's not, especially for strangers you don't know. That's why rule of thumb is marry your friend. And a friend has got to be someone you know. The parents know you, you know their parents, you know the family, you know everything. That's the safest place to be. We said that you fish in the pool of friendship. That's the place where you are protected the most. And that takes me to number 6 rule: don't override your instinct. Your instinct never lies. If something feels off, it probably is. Trust your spirit. And if you have to step away from your drink, please don't go back second. They say, I always say to people, one thing we undermine in our age and time is the power of the Holy Spirit. And this is not sounding religious. I was telling my children today, I said, do you know that if someone is coming into your space, if you ask the Holy Spirit or you ask God as your father to say, who is this person? You will hear a voice. It will tell you, because the heart of man is desperately wicked. He said, but God can search every heart, right? I once had someone come to me many years ago in Nigeria, and she tried to get close. And those days I will ask. So I went in prayer and I was asking God who is she, and the Lord said she's a snare. I said, really, snare? I said, no, this person, she's too. And it was later she told me actually that she had plans for me. That if not, it was God that said me. That's what she told me later. Right? So don't override your instinct. If you feel something is off, it's too good to be true. It's like investment. If it's too good to be true, most likely it is. And you avoid it. So don't override your instinct. As a matter of fact, anybody that you are in lovey-dovey with, subject the person to the scrutiny of the people in your life who have nothing to lose. Because those ones are not emotional. They are not subjective. They can give you an objective feedback that something is off about this guy. Just watch it. Or this lady. Something is just not right. And so, you see, Proverbs says, a man that wanders away from home will rest in the assembly of the dead. And that takes me to number 7. If they keep trying to push your boundary and make fun of what you consider as your values, then they were never in love with you. So if you say, you know what, this is who I am, these are the things I'm not going to do, and they keep pushing the boundary, and they keep making you, saying, you know, it's not a big deal if you love me, blah, blah, blah. People are doing it. Hello, run. Run. Because you see, you cannot allow people destroy your life. You can't afford it. And so it's important, and I'm begging you, because you see, and I feel for the younger generation, sometimes you are talking to them, it's almost as if you don't want them to have their fun. It's almost as if they think they're smarter, they are more intelligent. See, we may not be as sophisticated with IT as you are. We may not know AI as much as we know, but we have better experience. And it's out of love. Nobody can love you more than we love you. And so if you need to normalize, if you're a young person, you need to normalize getting a mentor for yourself. You need to normalize someone that you can defer to, someone you can talk to, someone that can talk to you, right? If there's someone asking you out, find someone in your life you can be honest with. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't say, oh, no, I'm not sure how they're going to handle it. Hey, it's better they handle you and scatter it and keep you alive than for you to go out with someone who's going to kill you. We have a lot of serial killers. Where I live in America, all the time they're sending us, a serial killer is on the prowl. You do not want to end up dead. So I'm begging everyone, please, the dating sites and dating apps is no longer as pure as people think they are. And so do everything to safeguard yourself. I hope this has been helpful tonight. I'm going to leave this on my YouTube page. So if you're not following me on YouTube, go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel, Praise for OL Live, so that you can watch it and share with people. And I think I'm going to do more of this because I became so burdened yesterday. My inbox was full. Somebody saying that my friend went out with a guy, got killed. My friend went out, disappeared. We still can't find her. I didn't know it was this bad. So please, let's normalize friendship, build friendship. I mean, I coach people who want to find a partner. I do assisted connections, but I put the power in their hand. I tell them, go back to the basic fundamentals, is build friendship. And it takes longer time and build friendship based on your values. How can you be friends with someone you don't know, whether you don't know their parents, you don't know, they just say, I'm the only one here. Hello, you are the only one there, you fell from the sky. We don't date ghosts. So don't date devils. I hope this moment has been helpful for you. And if you are a parent, you need to help your younger ones. You need to set up your family properly. We have a family combo that is on right now. I mean, the testimonies is massive coming in from different parts of the world. So if you are in America, UK, US, Australia, please, you can scan the code and then place your order. It comes with 3 courses and 2 books are shipped to you, right? This will give you rest when it comes to setting up your family properly and then guiding your children, bonding with your children. If you have lost your child already, you're no longer emotionally connected. In 21 days, there's what to do. It's part of the course we're giving you, and the book is coming to you, right? So you can already, I mean, ideally, this is over $1,000, but we're making it $150 for now. So go ahead and get your copy, and then start using it. It will help you. But above all, please, young people, if you follow the 7 rules I've shared today, you will be safe. We don't want to lose you to some guy who didn't know how your parents suffered to raise you. We don't want to lose you to some guys who are sick, right? And so please help God and help yourself. I hope this has been helpful. Like I said, it's going to be available on my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and watch it again and again. But thank you very much for everyone who has joined me on YouTube, for everyone who has joined me on Instagram. Thank you very much. I love you all. God bless you. Have a fantastic evening. Bye bye.